Today we're talking about the top 5 tips that I have given my students over 30 plus years of coaching, specifically for golfers over 50 to help them increase some clubhead speed and get some real distance out of their driver. And there's a reason why these tips are different than the driver tips I might give a younger student. There's some crossover, but these are gonna be really focused more specifically on all of our golfers over 50. All right, the first thing I wanna talk about here has to do with a strong grip. So when we grip the golf club with our lead hand, I'm a right-handed golfer, so my lead hand is my left hand. The more I take my palm and I rotate it towards the ground, this way, that's a strong grip. The more I rotate my palm towards the sky, that's a weak grip. So actually on the club, it looks more like this. This would be a strong grip, where it's on top, where I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 knuckles. A weak grip would be one that works the opposite, where the palm is now facing the sky and I can't see any knuckles on there. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, why is a strong grip better than a weak grip? Well, here's the thing. As we get older, our strength decreases a little bit, all right? It's one of the sad things about us getting older is our strength typically decreases. And what I have found is that when we have a slightly stronger grip, okay, it's easier to hold the club, it's easier to release it, it's just easier to handle it in general. Maybe you want to test that out on your own, just at home right now, or next time you got a golf club in your hand, just grip it in a really weak position and try to move it around and hinge it, and then grip it in a really strong position and try to release it and hinge it. And what you'll find is that when your lead hand grip is in a stronger position, it's just easier to handle the golf club. Now, the second reason that I like this idea of a stronger lead hand grip is because it makes it easier to release and rotate the club face. Okay, a weaker grip makes it more difficult to do that. And as we get older, distance is something that we're looking for. And typically, a square to slightly closed club face is going to produce more of a draw ball flight. A draw ball flight is going to give us a little bit more distance. All right, let's talk about the second thing, and that has to do with ball position. I want you to position the golf ball definitely forward in the stance. I want the ball to be equal or off the inside of your lead arm. So I've got my logo on my golf shirt. I want it slightly in front of that. Now, how do I find that position? Pretty simple. Put your feet together, okay? Take a mini step towards the target. I'm talking maybe 1 to 2 inches at the most. Take a much larger step away from the target. Okay, let me do that one more time. Small step towards, large step away. That will definitely move the ball forward in the stance. Now, why do I want the ball to be slightly forward, especially for my golfers over 50? Because all things being equal, when we hit slightly up on the golf ball, we tend to get higher launch and less spin, which means more distance. All right, let's talk about the third tip, and it has to do with the trail leg. And what I'm gonna suggest here is that you release the trail leg. Let me show you what that is, and I'm gonna tell you why you should do it. When you're sitting there, all right, in the address position here, you've got some bend in the knee, all right? Let's say for sake of discussion, it's 30 degrees of bend. That's an arbitrary number, probably pretty close to that, but it's somewhere in that range. 30 degrees of bend. When you get the club to the top of your backswing, I want you to have 15 degrees of bend. So I started with 30 and I went to 15. Now, why would I do that and why is that important for golfers over 50? Because one of the things that happens as we get older is the swing gets shorter. And the shorter the swing is, generally speaking, the shorter the ball is going to travel. Just think of it. What's the shortest motion in golf? A putt. The ball goes very short. Now, granted, because of other things, the loft and the club, and I know what you're saying there, but also think of the club that goes the longest, all right? It's the driver, which has the longest swing. So all things being equal, the longer the swing is, the further the golf ball is going to travel. So when you take your trail knee and you let it release, it goes from 30 to 15, that allows you to turn your hips more, which allows you to turn your shoulders more, which allows you to make a longer backswing. And if you can make a longer backswing, as you get older, you're gonna definitely hold on to some of that distance that maybe other golfers might be losing. Let's talk about the next thing. It has to do with upper body. We wanna hit slightly up on the golf ball with the driver. We wanna make sure we have a slight tilt in the upper body. So what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is when I stand here, right, nice and tall, hopefully, hopefully my spine is pretty straight up and down. And that's gonna produce a certain type of swing shape, what we might call swing arc. It's gonna basically promote the club hitting the ground in a certain spot. When I take my upper body and I tilt it back, that's gonna promote a certain type of swing arc and also a spot of where the club hits the ground. So if we wanna hit slightly up on the golf ball with the driver, when you're set in there, I want you to feel like your upper body is tilted just a little bit away from the target. That will help you hit slightly up on the golf ball. And also, believe it or not, I have found can help you swing a little bit more from the inside. Now the question becomes, how can we feel that? How can we find that position? Pretty simple. Just go ahead and take the club, kind of put it down the middle of your body so it kind of mimics your spine, get in your golf posture, and then just tilt until the club shaft or the club head hits you in the lead thigh or lead leg. That's gonna be about the right amount of tilt that you want when you're set in there before you start to swing your driver. All right, let's talk about the handle. The direction that this handle travels dictates what this club head does. And when we play golf, a lot of us focus on this club head, and that's okay. That's okay. At times we need to be thinking about this club head. But the handle is also a great way for you to change your golf swing, right? If the handle, and here's the tip, if the handle finishes nice and high and to the right of the target as a right-handed golfer, the handle finishes high and to the right of the target, two things have happened. That means the club head came from the inside, so I had an inside to out swing. We definitely want that. And also, the handle started to rise, which means the club head started to rise, which means that you're hitting slightly up on the golf ball. If this club head travels in to out, if this club head starts to work up through the strike zone, you're gonna get the distance that you're looking for and help you create some more club head speed even as we get a little bit older. Now, let me give you a golden nugget here. If you slice your driver, this is for you. When you finish, you've got the high handle, but the club head, okay, slightly is rotated over and released. Now, how does that work with the handle? Pretty simple. Feel the handle work up and to the right, but feel the handle rotate over. See how I did that? Boom. My handle rotates over. That gets the club face releasing into more of a square to a closed position. It can help us hit a nice high baby draw. Now, these are the 5 things that I have given my students over 30 plus years, specifically for golfers over 50 to help them increase some club head speed and get some real distance out of their driver. Now that we've increased your club head speed with your driver, check out my next video. And if you want to personally work with me and our golf team on your game, check out blscoaching.com.